All right, guys, it's that time. We are taking a look at the latest Nike LeBron signature shoe, the Nike LeBron 22. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we're taking a detailed look and breakdown on these potential bad boys right here. This is the Nike LeBron 22, and believe it or not, following up with the last couple of models that were very Kobe feeling, these actually feel like a LeBron on foot and in hand and everything like that. We'll talk about why in just a moment. But before we do have a quick word from today's sponsor, and it's the good folks over at Sole Premise. Sole Premise offers a great variety of travel bags that are designed and built with sneakerheads in mind. The carry-on travel backpacks can fit up to 5 pairs of shoes, or if you're a light packer, 1 pair of shoes since you're already wearing one while you're traveling, which leaves you with a ton of space for all of your other belongings. And yes, these bags are TSA approved. They fit in the overhead compartment. I've tried this many times and it works successfully. The travel day packs fit up to 2 pairs of sneakers. They even have toiletry bags, crossbody bags, and my personal favorite, the sports bag. I use that every day when I go to the gym. It fits my backup pair, my testing pair, and then another testing pair, along with all of my other stuff, gum, water bottles, change of clothes, sometimes my camera. You never know what might be in that thing. It's like Mary Poppins bag. It's amazing. You can use our promo code that you see on the screen right now to save yourself up to 40% on your purchase with the link down below in our description box. You're welcome in advance. All right, so the box itself is very similar to the past one. So you got the pull-out drawer style box and everything. You do have the Dunkman logo right there on one side, which I think is really dope. And then on the other side, you got this weird LeBron yin-yang lion thing, which I think is weird looking. On the top, you can see that there is a jewel. That's what this colorway is called. It's called the LeBron 22 Crown Jewel. I don't know if all the boxes will be the same. If they're not the same, that's a big waste of money, just saying. And inside the box, not only do the shoes come with it, but they come with one of these bad boys again, and I love this. So if you're looking at it, it tells you everything that you need to know, or at least shows you everything that you need to know about the sneaker from a tech perspective. Because yes, Jason Tatum and Jordan Brand, the tech specs matter. Not only does it have original design sketches of the shoe, but on the left side, they depict all of the tech specs and features of the sneaker. But just in case you're confused with any of it, we're gonna break it down anyways.
Bitchin'.
Now the outsole looks like it will perform well. I really hope that it does. The way that all of the grooves are set up, it looks like it's supposed to cover any foot strike going in any direction, which is exactly what you want when we're talking about basketball. It's not just a linear sport. You do lots of lateral movements and all kinds of shit. So you want optimal coverage, which this looks like it'll cover. The rubber is 2 different types of rubber, at least on this particular colorway. The back rubber is translucent. It's got some sort of like graphic treatment, obviously right here. The forefoot rubber though is glow in the dark. So yeah. That's cool. As far as the tech specs are concerned, the forefoot features a Zoom Turbo unit. Those made their debut in Kyrie's shoes, and now they are here in LeBron's. And yes, I really like those units. I think that they're very comfortable. I will say that you can't feel it very well in this model, but it's not because of the stuff that you can see. It's because of the stuff that you can't see. And then in the rear, there's a very large volume Zoom Air unit as well. Again, tech-wise, I think that that's awesome. The midsole itself is Cushlon. It's compression molded Cushlon on top of that. And then it is housed inside of this chassis. I think that's why you can't feel much of anything that is actually in the shoe, because you're sitting on what they like to call a saddle, which is this piece right here. It's the part that's literally sewn onto, you know, the upper and all of that stuff. So essentially it's a chassis. If you wanted to think back to Adidas's Sprint frame setup, very similar. This saddle adds some structure and support to it, which is why I say that this feels more like a LeBron shoe than the past two, because those kind of had that Kobe feeling to them. Even though I will say that last year's model was a lot stiffer than the 20s. I think that the 20 really was the only Kobe-esque version of the LeBrons. It's just that the shape hasn't changed for 3 models now, so they all kind of blend together. But where the 21 really changed things was with the upper. They really like restructured that entire thing instead of going full knit like they did with the 20s. This guy's a little bit of both. So you got a very structured upper, but then you also have a very structured tooling system. Again, that saddle slash chassis is part of that. So it makes it so that you can't like feel the Zoom Air and the foam and all that stuff like really compress and deflect the energy the way that you normally would. Now that chassis does extend through the forefoot of the shoe. You can actually feel that on foot. You can see it on the product descriptions as well as the artwork. You can feel it when it's in hand, like you cannot just flex the forefoot area and everything like that. So again, this feels a lot like older LeBron. So if you're one of those guys that love the stiff, rigid feeling of the original LeBron line, then you're gonna love this. If you're someone like me that wants a little bit more flexibility in there, you might not. There is an internal shank plate as well. Is it exactly needed? I don't know. I mean, I think that chassis really like structures things up, but just in case people want to complain, they threw that in there anyways. The upper itself is actually synthetic leather, so while it looks like leather, it's not. It is perforated. It is back though, so whatever perforation holes are in there, it's probably going to be negated by all the padding and things like that. But am I mad about this setup being fully synthetic? No, mostly because it still feels like leather. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you can mimic the feeling, I'm cool with that. Where I really like it is on the tongue, where it's the microfiber synthetic suede. I think that stuff just looks and feels awesome. Speaking of the tongue, you've got callbacks to previous LeBron models, not just in the way that the tongue is structured, like this is very LeBron 8, but also they're bringing that jewel thing back, which they did, I think it was on the LeBron 10, you know what I mean? They've done it a few different times, so that's why I was kind of confused. I was like, well, why do we keep going back to this? But either way, you do have a really cool jewel logo right there at the tip of the tongue. That's the one thing where I don't think that every pair is gonna come with that, so it makes me wonder if the box is gonna change the graphic and stuff like that to coincide with it. We'll just have to wait and find out. Now the internal liner, much like the LeBron 21 and 20, is the sphere liner. So as far as like their marketing department is concerned, the original marketing department for when that stuff was first introduced, it's supposed to be for airflow and moisture wicking and all that stuff to keep this area dry, even though what it was originally designed for and intended for was to really crater right around your Achilles and ankle area and conform and mold to the shape of your specific foot so that you get more of a custom one-to-one fit. And as far as sizing is concerned, they do fit true to size. Whatever you typically wear, especially in the last two models, that is what I would go with. They seem to be using that same exact last. So whatever you wore in those, that's exactly what I would order in these. For me, true to size works best. Again, I'm not really feeling the stiffness in the forefoot. I still think the LeBron 20 is like my favorite out of the recent stuff. I think that those are just a lot of fun to play in. But again, if you're one of those guys that's just a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit more powerful, and you needed a little bit more restriction and a little bit more stiffness to your footwear, then this could be one of those shoes for you. Now, with all that being said, what is today's question of the day?
First, I'd like to just give this particular subscriber a special shout out because I want to say this is like the third question of the day of theirs.
From this person?
Yeah, I feel like they do a good job picking stuff that like you're into, that I'm into, like whatever. So good job. Corey Stewart asks, can mac and cheese be too cheesy? And follow-up question, can pizza be too cheesy? Can I tell my answer?
Yeah, go for it.
I feel like mac and cheese can never be too cheesy because
Really?
I like the different variations. Like I like that crunchy kind of cheese, like those stuff that you give to me because you're like, I don't like this part.
Yeah.
And then the creamier cheese. I don't like if it's soupy cheese, if that makes sense.
Like super creamy.
Yeah, that I'm not really into. But I feel like pizza can be too cheesy and I don't like that.
Pizza can be too cheesy, especially when you pick it up and the cheese slides right off.
Yeah.
Too cheesy. Or maybe that's too saucy.
Yeah.
But either one, like the grease lifts it and then it slides off and then you're or, you know, sometimes you take a bite and it's like super cheesy or stretchy mozzarella and it's like hard to swallow. Too much cheese, you know what I mean? With that being said, pizza's awesome.
Please, a moment to reflect.
As far as mac and cheese goes, I mean, if pizza can be slightly too cheesy, then why not? You're just gonna be eating a bowl of constipation at that point.
Oh, my favorite mac and cheese is coming. Thanksgiving mac and cheese.
That's the thing. She likes Southern style mac and cheese where it's like cakey. You know what I mean? Like you can cut it out and like it all comes out in one piece. I don't like that kind. I like the gooey, like with the pull and not soupy, but just cheesy. You know what I'm saying? Like I like that kind of shit. This is a stupid mac and cheese to reference, but Panera's mac and cheese kind of underrated. A little soupy though.
That's what I was gonna say. Like it tastes good, but I don't find it appealing. It is not a top mac and cheese for me.
No, not at all. That's why I say it's weird to even reference it, but like, because it's not like true mac and cheese, it's like microwave mac and cheese or whatever. But
I think it's sous vide.
Yeah, they cook it in a bag, but still, it's pre-made. It's like in a box. That type of mac and cheese, but like more hearty, I guess, is what I like. So it's got to be a little bit of not cake, but not soupy. It's got to be somewhere in the middle. And the only way to do that is with cheese. Like you need more cheese in there. But anyway, sound off below and let us know your thoughts. Ken, was the question just mac and cheese or did you throw pizza in there?
No, they had two questions in one.
Okay. Can either of those items be truly too cheesy? And we both said yes to one and maybe to the other.
No.
You said no, but I said maybe. And for all of you good folks that actually stay to the end of the video, this is the insole. It's this piece of shit right here. You could take it out, do so before playing in it because there's glue on there, so it will glue itself to the fabric that's bonding everything together. And you don't want to pull this out and it, you know, rip apart into little pieces and stuff. However, you can use the hairdryer method, but it will be a little difficult even still. Also, thank you to DG Hoops because he was the one that was able to help me get these. He got these before release date. Obviously, our video is after the fact, but you know.
It happens.
But anyways, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for everything. We greatly appreciate it. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Stay tuned for a performance review in the coming weeks. I'm not trying to rush things. I'm not trying to fake things and get it out just for views. We actually test. And for that, you need time. So when that time comes, hopefully I see you then. But until then, you guys have a good one.